Joining us now to discuss is Secure Digital Markets Executive VP of Sales and Trading, Mostafa Al-Mashita. Welcome to the show, Mostafa. So we see that Bitcoin is slipping below $30,000 earlier this morning, but now it's rebounding. Are we due for a lower fall?
Look, I think that if we dip below 30,000 for a significant period of time, which means, to me, I typically look at a 3-day close. If for 3 days consistently we are below $30,000, it is not a good look for price action into the future. Although this bid side action that we saw this morning, pumping Bitcoin back up to $33,000 is pretty bullish in my opinion. I think that that was the kind of action that we were looking for. It shows us that there is some significant buyers looking to accumulate BTC below 30,000, which is why we didn't spend too much time under that level. If you got BTC below $30,000, consider yourself lucky, and that was an incredible dip to buy.
All right. At the same time, we're seeing news out of China that they're cracking down on mining, and as well, they're telling banks not to, I guess, fund accounts related to crypto exchanges. And what impact do you see that on the crypto markets? Is this anything new or just the same as always? What's your assessment?
Look, news out of China this is something that's been ongoing for a few years. This isn't anything new. This isn't something that traders look at and say, this is something that, is a new development. People in China have always found a way to acquire BTC no matter what it takes. If people are interested, there's methods to acquire BTC. Now, their more accelerated ban and more strict stance on banning Bitcoin, that has been a little bit of a concern coupled with the mining ban activities. So, I was at the Bitcoin 2021 conference and I was speaking with some of the larger miners in attendance. And, the main consensus is that there's not enough sites in the US that are miner ready to support the influx of miners fleeing China and looking to deploy their miners in other locations. So that, coupled with the drop in hash rate and the more accelerated ban in China, is, in my opinion, bullish because it reduces the amount of centralization that is a concern with Bitcoin. That the majority of the hash rate is in China. There's a lot of whale activity happening in China. The entire market is looking to get a little bit more decentralized, and you see that with Foundry, popping up in the top 3 mining pools worldwide. So, in my opinion, this adds to a stronger fundamental base that will naturally take Bitcoin to next levels. And when institutional capital looks to talk about Bitcoin and the risks, this is something that is extremely positive.
You mentioned earlier that people were buying at $30,000 today, and they may have been the lucky ones. But what kind of volumes have you been seeing, and what kind of activity lends itself to your assessment of where the price is headed?
100%. I mean, we saw some. We're on an OTC spot trading desk, and we have a lot of clients coming in and looking to either offload or acquire larger chunks of Bitcoin. And this morning we saw a few institutional funds that have been waiting. Some had limit orders, some looked to buy, get an RFQ quote and get a quote to buy around the 30,000 level. We had some people that were looking to capitulate and jump ship because they think that if it breaks 30,000, it's going way lower. I've seen the 30,000 level break a few times, and there in the past few weeks, or past few months rather, every time it broke, it was rebounded right away. And I think that just shows you kind of the level of interest and volumes that we're seeing in the space. Mind you, it is summer. It is a fact that people have been inside for the past year and a half, closing almost 2 years. People are looking to get outside, enjoy the weather. There's a lot less volumes being thrown in the space. There's a lot less traders sitting in front of their computer looking to trade every altcoin and trade every bounce, trade every move, which is why, in my opinion, we will continue in this range for up until September, October, and then we shall hopefully resume upwards.
You mentioned institutional interest. We see that MicroStrategy could potentially be getting a hit if prices go south of $26,000. But I wonder, what kind of institutional interest are you seeing right now? Is it having a chilling effect to this bearish market, or are you still seeing a lot of interest?
We still see a lot of interest. We see institutional funds jumping in. We see some family offices acquiring some BTC at these levels, some ETH. The alts, people are still generally risk off, considering the risk that is associated with alts and how much they act as a higher beta play to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we're seeing a ton of interest, both sides. We did have a lot of sell side pressure during the Coinbase listing week. And it was interesting to see because there was a lot of bullish factors associated, but people were looking to take risk off. At the moment, we have some good buy side volume. It's nowhere near what we saw at the start of the year, but it's certainly starting to accumulate and starting to stagger some numbers, especially as we. I had a couple of weeks where I was talking to the team and I was like, look, this is insane. This is the highest volume that we've hit, and it's been growing on a week by week basis. And that number has only increased. We saw a small dip as start of June rolled around, but now volumes are jumping up to all-time high levels again.
Do you have a price target for the end of the year?
I would say $75,000.